I just added up all the games, or I added up all the games that I did enjoy on the PS4, Xbox One, the 8th generation, this generation, and I only came up with 11 games total. And that's sad. That's pathetic. We've been in the 8th generation for years now. And even if I were to throw on a few more that I haven't played yet that I'm somewhat interested in, it still doesn't even come out to 20 or 30. And we're already going to be entering a 9th gen. And there's only been a total of 11 games that I've enjoyed. And even some of those games I have issues with that I wouldn't even consider classics. So, I mean, the fact that there's only a total of 11 games, that's just, oh man. It's bad. It's really bad.
It really seems like the winner of this generation of gaming is not the PS4, it's not the Xbox One. I'd have to say it's probably the PC, just because most of the games that come out anymore are for the PC. And it's strange, just because I always liked, home machines more than I ever liked PC gaming. I don't mess with like the keyboard and the mouse and that sort of stuff, but it's really, because you can use internet, you can stream, and you can do all these different things. It's just getting awkward trying to find some of these games. And like you were saying, 11 games in a total of 7 years that these machines have been around is disappointing. And that's just to say the least.
Yeah. And the thing is, those games I mentioned, I liked all of them. Even some of those games I put on my list of total games I enjoyed. Those games even have problems. I wouldn't even hold those games in the same caliber as games that I played generations ago. Even the games I like aren't perfect. So, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely COVID. COVID slowed a lot of things down this year. It's a real shame, honestly.
Y'all see that Xbox One right there? This is what it's being used for. Something that's not on the machine, probably will never be on the machine, and has nothing to do with these games. It's kinda, yes, watching YouTube. I mean, it's an endless benefit, I have to admit, but it's kind of something you have to taper into as far as looking at like the state of affairs that gaming has reached. So if you pay attention, Jackal Goldkick talked about he only liked 11 games, and he even said that beyond that, he said that even beyond that, 11 games is kind of a stretch within itself. So these are all my Xbox One games. So I have basically 4, 8, 12, I have 13. This is a game too. I have 13 games for Xbox One. We're going to go through them just to kind of talk about the credentials of some of this mess. So, yeah, we'll start with football. So, Madden, that's what we're looking at here. That's Cobalt's game. Three more Cobalt games. FIFA 15, 16, 17. So that's more. 2 NBA games. NBA 15 and 17. A couple Forza games. More Cobalt games. And then my games, the ones that I wanted when I initially found out about the Xbox One. Halo Master Chief Collection, Destiny 1, and Fallout 4. So obviously, even if all 3 of these games are 10s out of 10, it still is difficult to kind of say, I raise Jackal Goldkick's 11 with me liking just 3 games, and 3 actually having any occupational. And I was so disappointed that, I didn't really even delve into this game. I just got it, and I was kind of like, I think we can do better. So I don't know what's kind of up. But then we also have Call of Duty World War II. I almost said World War III, but this is kind of the one I'm on the fence about. I mean, Call of Duty will always have fun multiplayer, but I don't know, back in the Black Ops 1 and 2 days and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I've tried on numerous occasions to get back into Call of Duty, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the multiplayer is the cat's meow in that franchise. So, just kind of looking at that, I have to look at like the fares that go along with Xbox One. Just like I said, Cobalt said everything's going to PC. Jackal Goldkick said he was heavily disappointed in like this generation, but he at least found double digits worth of games, although 11 total games, and he even said that those are not classics. It's relatively light. I mean, that's something you'd expect from like cats playing with some toys. That's something you would expect from like the Game Boy or something, the original Game Boy, when you only liked like Tamagotchi, Pokemon, those type games. So this is kind of the fact that a $400 machine, there's only 10 games that even people are considering. I mean, Cobalt really didn't mess with any of these. He might have played like Forza like 3 or 4 times, NBA a couple of times, and FIFA a couple of times, but it's really just on the occasional, there's nothing else to do. So he really talked about like Kingdom Hearts 3, which he did download, didn't even buy the box format to the game. But I mean, honestly, Kingdom Hearts is so massive, they were just doing too much. And it's the same complaint that I had with Zelda Breath of the Wild. You say, well, acidic roots, why don't you talk about something besides the Xbox? Why don't we talk about the Nintendo Switch? It's difficult to kind of mess with that just because I did attempt Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I think that that's a fair game in its own right. But I don't know what it was about Breath of the Wild. It was just too massive a game. It was kind of Elder Scrolls meets Zelda, and the meat of the Zelda game is the dungeons. That's the best part of Zelda. The dungeons, the enemies, the puzzles, that sort of stuff. And it just felt like Link was just walking across an entire planet, which I like my Ocarina of Time-sized Link. That's just kind of the thing. You look at it and you have to say some of these things. It just gets sketchy. That's kind of where most of that stems from. I mean, YouTube is obviously a brilliant thing. Xbox Live, I don't know what's going on with that. Last I heard, I mean, my Xbox Live account ran out in July, but the whole thing about that was just the fact that you can't even buy like a year-long subscription anymore. So I don't like having to risk going out getting COVID just for 3 more months or 1 more month of Xbox Live. I mean, it's a cheap service. I mean, it needs to... $60 for a year is better than $15 for 3 months. That's just kind of the thing. Because 15, well, what would it be? What would the price be for 3 months? I don't even know. If it's $30, that's too much. I just think, honestly, 15 times 3, any way you slice it, would still come out to about $60. But somehow, I just don't know if getting fucked over in that process is worth it. So... But just to really reiterate upon the subject of gaming, I've heard Boogie2988, Jackal Goldkick, some of these people, they talk like the microtransactions are really killing it, and just some of the other states of affairs that's kind of going on. I mean, it's losing kind of its luster in a lot of ways, but it's not so much I hate microtransactions, I just kind of I don't know what to do. What it boils down to I played Halo a lot. This game right here and this game right here, I played a lot throughout the Xbox One generation. I played Destiny before Acidic Roots had even started. So I was messing with this, and I was messing with this. You've seen videos where I've messed with the Master Chief Collection. So this is kind of... I felt like these games, I could probably throw Destiny 2 in there, but I don't know about Halo 5. And... there just was a bunch of stuff, and I don't know if, like, Fallout 4 is multiplayer. I mean, you would think that it was, but I don't know why, and I kind of blame some of it on just promotion. I mean, I don't see video game commercials on television. That's the thing. I mean, back in the day, you would see commercials for like, I remember seeing commercials for Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I remember seeing commercials for. I mean, they had like some 80s songs playing for the Vice City commercial. And I think Prince of Persia, I remember seeing commercials for that. And God of War, some of those type games, but I just don't, when you look at it, and that sort of stuff. And even probably Assassin's Creed, I've seen a couple of those commercials, but, Halo 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but I don't know where the big name games are kind of happening. I mean, honestly, most of the time it's just going to be a first-person shooter, and that's kind of the thing. Fallout, Halo, Call of Duty, Destiny, some of those type games, in some cases, it's just kind of reaching a point where, you look at it and it's just another sequel or something, but I feel like video games should rely on more just saying, okay, it's Halo in the odd numbered years, Gears of War in the even numbered years, Call of Duty every November, and then Fallout every 3 years. And that's just kind of the way that things have kind of gone, but I mean, when I look honestly on this generation, it just kind of becomes like where it's just mediocre. It's not horrible, but it's mediocre, because I look at it and I say, why am I not playing anything besides Halo and Destiny at some spaces? But I don't know what's up with Destiny 3. You've got COVID-19 that's fucking with everything, and then everyone talks about how E3 is a disappointing. Get the damn promotion underway. That's what you need to do. Promote the fuck out of it. Get people like Dwayne Johnson and Exhibit and Steve-O and people like that to sit there and say, this is a kick-ass game. Get 45-year-old men and 37-year-old men and 32-year-old men to mess with it. You need people, and you just need up-and-comers. You just would have to say, who thinks this game is kick-ass? And then you look at it. I mean, Justin Bieber, that's who likes this game. And, when he's not busy flirting with his wife and making all the girls swoon, you can catch him on the occasional Saturday night messing with Fallout 4. There's just none of that promotion that really goes on. I look at it, where are the Taco Bell promotions? Where are the Mountain Dew promotions? I mean, things are just kind of getting cast off to the side. It's really, it's idiotic anymore.